When most people think about pickup trucks, the same names come to mind: Ford F, Chevrolet, Silverado, Dodge Ram, Toyota Hilux. These are the titans of the road, the workhorses of construction sites, farms, and highways. They are reliable, popular, and everywhere. But beyond the well-known legends of the pickup world, there exists a shadowy collection of rare and unusual machines. Trucks, so limited in production, or so unusual in design that most people don't even know they ever existed. These pickups weren't always sales successes. In fact, some of them failed miserably in their own time. Yet today, they stand out as fascinating relics, hidden treasures that tell stories of bold innovation, changing consumer tastes, and companies willing to take risks. Some were built in only a few thousand units, some in only a few hundred, and a handful are so rare that spotting one today is like finding an automotive ghost. Their rarity makes them collectible, their stories make them legendary, and their designs often remind us of an era when automakers were willing to experiment in ways that feel almost impossible today. So, let's dive deep into the world of rare pickups, uncovering the machines that lived briefly, burned brightly, and then disappeared, leaving behind myths and legends that car enthusiasts still talk about in hushed tones. One of the most eye-catching rare pickups to ever hit American roads came from Dodge during the late 1970s, a time when muscle cars were dying under the weight of emissions regulations. The Dodge Lil Red Express was Chrysler's cheeky way of rebelling against the trend. And it was more than just a truck, it was a statement. With its bold red paint, gold decals, wood trim on the bed, and vertical chrome exhaust stacks that rose high behind the cab, it looked outrageous, even when standing still. But the real magic was under the hood, where Dodge squeezed in a 360 cubic inch V8 that wasn't subjected to the same emissions restrictions as cars at the time. The result was shocking. In 1978, Dodge Lil Red Express was the fastest American production vehicle from 0 to 100 miles per hour, outrunning Corvettes and Camaros. Fewer than 7,500 were ever built across its 2-year production run. And while it was never a mainstream truck, today it's one of the most desirable collectibles of its era. Finding one in original condition is rare, and when they show up at auctions, collectors bid aggressively, not just for the performance, but for the symbol of defiance it represents. Chevrolet also had its moment in the rare pickup Hall of Fame when it decided to bring the brute force of a big block engine into a sleek black street truck. The 1990 Chevrolet 454 SS was a factory hot rod pickup, a machine that looked understated but had a monster lurking under its hood. With a 7.4-liter big block V8, pumping out 230 horsepower and 385 pound-feet of torque. This truck wasn't about hauling hay. It was about burning rubber, painted only in black with red accents and unique badging. The 454 SS had a menacing look that matched its muscle. From 1990 to 1993, only a few thousand were built each year, making them relatively scarce compared to the millions of Silverados and CK trucks Chevrolet was selling at the time. Today, surviving examples are rare, especially unmodified ones, and their values continue to climb as enthusiasts recognize them as one of the last true factory muscle trucks before the sport truck era faded away. If Chevrolet was playing with fire, GMC turned up the heat to volcanic levels with one of the most insane performance pickups ever made. The 1991 GMC. On the surface, it looked like a small, boxy, compact truck, something practical for small jobs. Not all rare pickups were about speed. Some were about quirkiness, odd design, or strange attempts to skirt around laws. The Subaru Brat, introduced in 1978, is one of the strangest trucks ever sold in America. Officially called the bi-drive recreational all-terrain transporter, the Brat was part car, part truck, and part off-road toy. To avoid the infamous chicken tax, a 25% tariff on imported light trucks, Subaru bolted a pair of rear-facing plastic jump seats into the bed and called it a passenger vehicle. The result was bizarre. A tiny 4-wheel drive pickup with exposed seats in the back, where brave passengers could ride with nothing between them and the open air. While it wasn't powerful or luxurious, the Brat developed a cult following for its weirdness and utility. Many were driven hard and rusted away, which makes surviving examples incredibly rare today. For collectors of oddball vehicles, the Subaru Brat is a prize, and it represents a time when automakers got creative in the face of restrictive trade laws.